Six guy, he a visionary.
Trials, there's one thing about trials, it's uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen. So you got to beat 4 counts. If you don't beat them, what will happen is under this A and C recidivist statute, I have to, under the law, sentence you to the maximum sentence. And then whatever I sentence you to, you serve to the door. That's not anything I have any discretion over. It's not anything because I don't like you or because of what you're being charged with or whatever. Those have nothing to do with anything. That's what the state of Georgia, the legislature has mandated that I sentence you to.
Take this shit to trial. Take this shit to trial.
Don't say it too fast, cause boy, oh boy, when they come to footage, y'all better hit up Nash.
Incorrect legal name.
PV.
And are you the same person referred to in the indictment you just signed of 22 SC 183572? Did you just sign that indictment?
Yes.
Okay. Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No, ma'am.
How old are you?
23.
And how far did you go in school?
I went far.
What's that mean?
Like 12.
You went to 12th grade?
Mm.
Did you graduate?
Mm.
Is that a yes?
I mean, yes.
Okay. Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
With respect to indictment 22 SC 183572, how do you plead to conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
How do you plead to theft by receipt of stolen property? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
How do you plead to violation of the Georgia Controlled Substance Act in count 9? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
How do you plead to violation of the Georgia Controlled Substance Act as to count 10? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
How do you plead to possession of a firearm by a convicted felon?
Guilty.
How do you plead to participation in criminal street gang activity?
Guilty.
How do you plead to armed robbery reduced to robbery by force?
Guilty.
How do you plead to hijacking a motor vehicle in the first degree?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with a full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have only a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have only 4 years from today's date for the felony charges to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this guilty plea?
Yes.
Your Honor, had this case proceeded to trial, the state of Georgia would have proved beyond a reasonable doubt that in late 2012, within the Cleveland Avenue area of Atlanta, Georgia, that YSL, who claimed affiliation with the National Blood Gang, was formed. The founders of that organization were Jeffrey Williams, also known as Young Thug, also known as Slime, Walter Murphy, also known as DK, and Trontavia Stevens, also known as Tick or Slug. That this organization uses a number of different identifiers, including colors, clothing, tattoos, and hand signs in order to show affiliation with that organization. That this organization is part of the enterprise, which is Young Slime Life, and that this defendant was a member of this enterprise and conspired to and associate together with others for the common purposes of illegally obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity and conducting and participating in the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. In furtherance of the conspiracy, he engaged in a number of different crimes. Specifically, Your Honor, 2 of those crimes in racketeering activity, first being one occurring on May 8th, 2012 at 151 Cleveland Avenue, which is in Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30315, which is an Exxon gas station in what is known to be the Young Slime Life gang territory. That Mr. BB was a part of an undercover sting operation at that gas station. Officer Applewhite, APPLEWHAITE, was operating in an undercover capacity. He went inside of the gas station and encountered the defendant. Officer Applewhite asked to purchase marijuana. The defendant asked how much marijuana. Officer Applewhite advised he wanted $20 worth. The defendant then went to the area of the store, weighed up the marijuana, and gave that marijuana to Officer Applewhite. Once the sale was completed, other officers came in and placed Mr. BB under arrest. When they placed him under arrest, he was found with marijuana on his person as well as a gun. The gun was then ran and it came back stolen out of East Point Police Department from a car break-in in August of 2019. Additionally, Your Honor, about a year and 6 months later, in October 12th, 2021, this defendant, along with co-conspirator Christian Eppinger, were at 47 Cleveland Avenue, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, which is also in the Young Slime Life gang territory. While there, the victim, Mr. Darius Smith, was at that location, which is a park next to a library. Mr. Smith was speaking with a friend of his, and while speaking with that friend, there were two black males described. One had a blue and black ski mask with a black and silver handgun. The other suspect had a black ski mask with a black handgun. They approached Mr. Smith and stated to him, "Give up that chain." Mr. Smith had a large chain that was very identifiable. That chain was a diamond encrusted chain that looked like a house and said "Trap Commander" on it. They also took additional jewelry and other items from Mr. Smith, to include earrings, a diamond gold necklace, 2 iPhones, his car keys. They then went and jumped inside his vehicle, which was a 2003 GMC Savannah. They then fled the location after robbing him. Again, both of the individuals had guns. Mr. Smith initially called 911. He had left the location. A friend was able to take him to his brother's house, which was in Clayton County. When he called 911 in Clayton County, they advised he had to come back to the city of Atlanta. He did come back to the city of Atlanta and was able to encounter police, where he reported what happened to him a few hours earlier. During his time in explaining to the police what happened, he gave a description of one of the defendants. He said that he knew or was familiar with one of the defendants from the neighborhood. Although he had a ski mask on, he noticed 2 things: his eyes as well as his hands, and that he was missing a finger. After that, Mr. Smith was able to provide to law enforcement officers social media pages of first Durante Beebe wearing his chain and identifying him as the person with the missing finger that had robbed him. Mr. Beebe was on social media promoting the chain, having the chain, some would say flossing the chain in front of the camera, which was the chain that was stolen from him. Further investigation into social media, the officers were able to identify the co-defendant, Christian Eppinger, as the other person who robbed him. Officers were also able to get the social media information from Instagram, and they actually found on Instagram a recording of Christian Eppinger bragging about robbing Darius Smith that was turned over in discovery. After arrest warrants were taken out, Mr. Beebe was arrested, interesting enough, back at that same location in November of 2021 at the same 47 Cleveland Avenue, where he was arrested, arrested on these charges. And then Christian Eppinger was arrested subsequently on these charges in February of 2022 after he shot Officer David Rogers. Additionally, Your Honor, we have social media postings of Mr. Beebe and Mr. Eppinger that are a part of our overt acts in this indictment, which shows them being part of and associated with the conspiracy. Mr. Beebe in Act 143 of count 1 of our indictment is posting a picture along with co-conspirator Christian Eppinger wearing what we call an OTS sweatshirt, which is only the slime sweatshirt and sweatpants, again showing his association with the enterprise and the fact that he's acting in furtherance of this enterprise and to promote this enterprise, Your Honor. This is some of the evidence that the state would intend to show if this case were to move forward with trial, Your Honor.
Mr. Beebe, good afternoon, sir. Sir, did you have the opportunity to fully discuss the facts and circumstances of this case and the matters in indictment 21 SC 177912 and 23 CP 218502 with your attorney, Mr. Partridge, to your satisfaction?
Yes, sir.
And do you have any questions about any of the rights that you give up by entering a guilty plea in this case? Those rights were set forth on the record by Ms. Simone Hilton from the District Attorney's Office. Do you have any questions about those rights you wish to ask me?
No, sir.
Did you give this plea, did you have a chance to also read and sign the indictment that I'm holding up here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you have any questions about the indictment as it pertains to you in counts 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 27, or 28 you want to ask me?
No, sir.
All right, I don't know if the indictment's been signed and the plea has been entered. Mr. Beebe, based upon the responses that you've given during the court's inquiry, I'm going to find that your guilty plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I find a factual basis for your plea, and I'm going to accept your plea as tendered.
I noticed something, right? And it kind of just threw me off. The charges, bro. Did y'all hear the charges? Cuz done robbed a dude, that sold weed at the gas station to some undercovers, bragged about it on social media and all that. It all spins to my grand theory. So just wait on it. You have Yak Gotti, who they have said pulled the trigger on Big Nut. Then y'all have Briss, a.k.a. Christian Eppinger, who you have damn near on camera. Bow, 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 bow. I'm busting at him, shooting a police officer, then almost getting bail. You have those. Then you have Young Thug, who, for some reason, when he, do all of that, he slime on through his charges because that's what money is supposed to do. You have the money for a reason. The reason you have the money is so that people can't touch you. Hammer time. But either way it go, I'm going to keep it authentic with you, bro. Them deals be too sweet. You know what, man? Even though ultimately it's supposed to be basically how we can prove that basically it's like this. How can you say YSL is not a gang when we have 15 other people that we have on the RICO saying that it is? How can you say that? Did I think that Gunna ultimately knew all of this was going to happen? I have no idea. So if Gunna comes out and he says something slick, proper, like, yeah, let me talk about this real quick, because Gunna wasn't the first one to jump off. The head nigga DK was the first one to sign the deal, to say that this is a criminal enterprise and all that, and you knew he was going to tell, because when he came in, he was crying. Normally they do like this. This nigga was doing like this. So when the head person comes out and says basically, bruh, hey, man, we are a gang. We did all this, because all the charges that they're really hitting these cats with are old charges anyways. They're saying you did this, 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 and this, and this, and y'all all rep the same gang. Y'all all be around each other. 3 of those cats don't even know Young Thug. Ain't never been around them. But because they bang YSL, it is what it is. Now, to the grand point, they only really want 3 people. Briss, Yak Gotti, and Young Thug. That's it. They want those 3. They want to pin those dudes to the damn wall and say life or 20 years. The other dude, expect him to take the plea too. Because at this point, we done robbed niggas. You got cats with attempted murder. Like, niggas got attempted murders and only got time served and 5 years probation. What? They don't want these other cats. This is how stupid it is. Mind you, Young Thug is not accused of shooting a single gun or even orchestrating a hit. If you want, you can look up 88-page RICO. I read it all for you. I do all the reading for you. Young Thug is not accused of firing a gun, putting a hit on nobody, nothing like that. The worst thing Young Thug did was threaten a security guard who grabbed his scooter. You're bound to say anything out of anger. Let me help y'all. When Thug and Gunna got caught and all that stuff with the strap in the car, there's a third nigga. He grabbed that. The guns that are in Young Thug's house have all been claimed. Those charges will be dropped, as much as the drugs as well. So all the stuff that they picked up, because I know what y'all's thinking, like, damn, Brian Steele, why would you say, hey, bro, this second part of these additional charges, we just gonna add them all in? Because niggas said, that's mine. That's mine. Yeah, that's me. That's the reason why, bro. Ultimately, they just want Young Thug. And she ain't gonna stop until she get Young Thug. It is what it is. Is it dirty? Hell yeah. Is she playing a dirty game? Hell yeah. Because I want to know the ages of them black people that they got. We find out them ages, then everything gonna be wild. Now, with all that being said, man, let's see how it play out, bruh. I personally think when it comes to this RICO and YSL being a gang and all that, bruh, I really don't think so. Do I think these niggas is gang member from Cleveland? Yeah, I do. But that's different than YSL being an actual enterprise. It's hard to be an actual enterprise when niggas are not even introduced to the quote-unquote kingpin. And niggas asking, is it all right if I do something to this dude and everything like that? That's not a hit. That's like, bro, if I punch this dude out, you gonna give me $5? You don't like this nigga, but you know what I'm saying? If you do it, I hit him with the hard one. I put that muscle on him. That's all that is, cause I don't know, man. It is what it is, man. So, in the fairness of everything, let's just wait and see. Because if Young Thug beats this charge and beat this case and everything like that, then they can go for habeas corpus. And that's what the guy was talking about. Like, basically, if Thug beats this trial, I'm going to come back and I'm going to fight y'all on this so y'all can get rid of this probation. That's essentially what he did. So, they banking on that, man. But it is what it is, man. But I'll catch you on the next one. Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra. Hail Hydra. Hail Hydra. Hail Hydra.
Hail. Hail Hydra.
Hood when I'm through the hood. Nothing be said, we got it overstood. The team fed, yeah, it's really good. Put that on everything, bro, you're never good. What's really hood when I'm through the hood? Nothing be said, we got it overstood.